following is a Jackass Nation production. Subscribe to us on Podbean at jackassnation.podbean.com.
Hey Jackass Nation fans, this is Trey from The Offshoots. If you can, please go subscribe to The Offshoots Network, where you'll be able to pick up shows like the one you are currently listening to. Plus you'll get The Offshoots, The Nigel Rabbit Show, Bootleg Radio, The Lucha Lounge with Steve DeMarco, Talking Smack with Christopher Hayden, and so much more coming down the pike. As we grow, we want you to grow with us. Please go subscribe.
Man, this beat is tough. Coming to you from the Kayfabe studio in Highland Park, Texas. He was born in Seaside Heights, New Jersey. Raised by Wilson Fisk on the streets of Hell's Kitchen, New York. And did his studies in FABOLOUS Sin City, Las Vegas. He's straight out of Compton and brought to you in part by the Offshoots Network. He's pro wrestler, four-time MPX Tag Team Champion, writer, podcaster, bringing you his opinions on film, TV, professional wrestling, sports, and everyday life. He is the Jersey Jackass, B to the C. And you're listening to It Is What It Is with the Jackass. On tonight's show, part 2 of the top 10 superheroes. And now, your host, the Jackass. Yo, 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 it is what it is, and what it is it is what it is, with the Jersey Jackass. This is your boy, B to the C, the Jackass himself. We have a great episode coming at you. We have everything going down. Join the conversation by hollering at me on Twitter at RealJackassBC. That's RealJackassBC. It also works for Snapchat, Instagram, Skype, Facebook, all of it. Check it all out. Mad respect, guys. This is going to be a very, very quick opening because we got another big episode. And you know what I realized? I realized I kind of messed up cutting this episode up. I cut it up into halves. First half was last week, second half was this week. But because math has never been one of my strong points, I went ahead and did let's see, what exactly did I do? I did 10 through 5 on last week's episode, so we only have 4 through 1 on this week's episode. I should have done 10 through 6 last week and 5 through 1 on this week. But once again, I am terrible at math. So, it is what it is. But guys, there is some great stuff going down this weekend. But before we get into any of that, I've got to tell you that this month we are saluting those who stand up for others, whether they're protecting the galaxy, the world, or just the neighborhood. All hail the Guardians. Loot Crate, your monthly subscription box service which provides boxes of geek and gaming related merchandise, is back with a brand new theme. Guardians is the theme for Loot Crate next month. May, that's what it is. It's May because Guardians of the Galaxy comes out. And we got all this going down. There's going to be items from Star Wars, Destiny, The Goonies, and of course, Guardians of the Galaxy. And as always, it will include its monthly t-shirt and pin. And right now, you can get a discount on your boxes of loot. All you got to do is go to lootcrate.com/SCNSLive and you will get a discount. Put in the promo code SCNS Live at checkout, and you will get a discount on your first box of loot. You want to see all the really cool stuff that you're missing out on? Go to youtube.com/SCNS Live and check out one of our unboxing videos. You get to see all the cool stuff that come out of Loot Crate. You definitely do not want to miss out. Loot Crate is so cool, guys. I'm telling you, it's freaking awesome. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. Friday night, the Mr. MPX tournament is going down. I'm not there. That's disappointing. I really miss being in the ring. MPX is starting to make me mad. Come on. Jackass is ready to whoop some ass. The time is coming, and you will all regret not having me ready to whoop ass. But we got an awesome tournament going down Friday night. A very special show being put on from MPX, so definitely make sure you check that out. First round matches include the flying asshole Frankie Fisher taking on Max Sterling, superstar Kenny Steele taking on Super Tex Brink McKenzie, 50 caliber Barrett Brown taking on the definition of a real athlete Dante Smiley. Christopher Hayden is back, and he takes on Jason Silver. It all starts this Friday night. That's right, a special night of MPX action. Friday night, same thing. Doors open at 7:30. Bell time is 8. 510 Hardwood Road, Bedford, Texas. Make sure you are there, guys. And then on Saturday night, MPX is back again with MPX Exile. And this is another show that you're not going to want to miss. Man, Fire Ant is back. It's going to be absolutely awesome to see. That's right. The MPX All-Star match, which will have Fire Ant in it, taking on Jerome Daniels, Mike Fox, and Barrett Brown in a fatal 4-way matchup. This is a match you guys do not want to miss up. Brand new prospect champion, Michael Schaefer. That's right, the Kingsman will be defending his first title defense against the real deal Nobi Bryant. Another incredible match we get to see superstar Kenny Steele taking on Scott McKenzie of DTF. We know Kenny Steele is still pissed off from getting run down by a car. So he's going to go out there and he's going to take out some of his anger on Scott McKenzie. But that's not it. The complex killer Jason Silver takes on Orange Cassidy. Guess what, guys? Orange Cassidy is straight off of Chikara Pro. That's right. You do not want to miss this match. It's going to be one hell of a match. And to top it all off, in the main event of the night, Stephen Kirby defends his MPX championship against the magnificent Maliko. Guys, this Maliko dude is absolutely crazy. He is freaky as all hell. Did you see that promo that he put on Facebook, man? Dude's insane. Scares the absolute crap out of me, and not just because I'm terrified of clowns. I'm not even really that terrified of clowns, but the fact that, he's creepy. Alright? He is straight up creepy. But that is not the only show going down on Saturday. VIP is putting on Kings of the South. That's right, VIP back in action this Saturday. They continue to raise the bar and rewrite history on April 29, 2017, when they present the first ever event to determine the King of the South. There are so many promotions that can consider themselves king of their region, but rightfully there can only be one king wrestler of the South. And in order to be named King of the South, a wrestler needs to outlast all of his opponents in a 2-ring battle royal featuring at least 50 of the best professional wrestlers in the entire southern United States. If you're you guys, if you're a professional wrestling fan, you do not want to miss this night. It's going to be insane. Incredible matches. Listen to that, guys. Over 50 stars in 2 separate rings. It's like World War III, but there's only 2 rings. So it's pretty close to World War III. But that's not all. We also have 4 different champions from 4 different promotions battling it out in a fatal 4-way. That's right. We got the PWCS Gateway Heritage Champion Davey Vega taking on Rampage Wrestling Champion Justin Taylor, taking on ACW Champion JoJo Brown, and Inspire Pro Champion Steve O. Reno. But that's not it, guys. So much more going down. We're going to see Sammy Guevara taking on Brian Cage, VIP Champion Keith Lee taking on Matt Sydal, Steve Anthony will be taking on Shelton Benjamin. Austin Theory goes one-on-one with Homicide. And then Hyun Young takes on Delilah Doom. Guys, this is a show you're going to want to see. Do not miss out on it. It all goes down this Saturday night. MPX, VIP, support indie wrestling. The Gym, 921 West Mayfield Road, Arlington, Texas. Do not miss out on that. Hey, all right, guys, that's all I got for you. We're going to jump into our main show today. Rob and Trophy, as well as the coach, Matt, are back to finish up our conversation on our top 10 superheroes. Check this out. We will be back at the very end of the show for some box office predictions. And hope you guys enjoy this.
The Jackass Nation podcast channel with shows like It Is What It Is with the Jackass, Jackass Reviews, Go Home, Jackass 1, a Star Wars podcast, and many more. Check us out at jackassnation.podbean.com.
My number 4 is what I believe is Rob's number 3. And that is Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
What?
Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher. No. Dolph Lundgren played the Punisher.
Yeah, he did.
He did?
Yeah.
He did.
Why?
And no.
Why?
So bad.
So
It was like 1990, maybe?
I Superman, no.
No.
Mr. Superman here.
But no, the Punisher,
God,
man.
why?
Which the Punisher, which takes me back to Blade and his whole "this is my life." Well, the Punisher doesn't have off time either. All right, he doesn't just go and get some Dunkin' Donuts.
It's different. The Punisher's dealing with a lot of PTSD. All right, it's very different than what Blade is dealing with. Blade's like, I lost my mom. I gotta kill vampires. Like,
if you're stuck as half vampire and you have the thirst for blood, you'd want to kill those assholes too.
Punisher's way different than Blade.
But it's my thought process of some people just don't need off time. Because he's just going to go out and kill people. And what makes me go to say, it goes back to the Civil War comic book story. When Captain America brings in some villains to help, and Punisher just shoots them. He's like, "They're bad guys. Kill them."
Yeah, Punisher's great. Punisher's
And again, goes back to, I'm probably the only person on the freaking planet that loves the Thomas Jane Punisher.
you're not the
I
only
liked
one.
it.
The first one was great.
And
The whole thing with the family,
See,
I was a little bothered with.
I
but-
get so mad because people say that the second one's better than that one. I'm like, no.
First one's the best.
Thomas Jane was so dope as the Punisher.
Thomas Jane versus John Travolta.
And now getting
John Barenthal.
John Barenthal. This is dope. This is so cool to
that
see.
I'm looking for. I'm hoping that they use Jigsaw in it, but they probably won't.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It's still, let's get some Punisher out there.
Yeah.
I'd like to play a game.
I like the Punisher. He's a Marine. I'm a Marine.
Got that.
He just shoots up New York City. I used to live in New York City. We got things in common. You know what I mean?
One of my favorite parts of that entire Netflix series were with Daredevil whenever they showed him in season 2 was the hospital scene. Absolutely one of my favorite scenes.
Oh.
But when he walks in, he takes the gun off of the cop, just takes it apart, throws it in the trash. Like, I love that part. And then whenever he's on top of the roof too, talking to Daredevil,
that was hard.
So good. So good. Yeah, so Punisher, mad respect for Punisher for sure.
I love. There's some comic book line. I remember reading this that Nick Fury has a contingency plan that if some some country or something is so out of order that he has to stop that, he has to take everybody out. he puts the Punisher on one end of the country, and he puts the Hulk on the other end of the country, and just sends them in. And I'm just like,
that's smart.
That's respect right there.
That's smart.
You're putting this abominable, angry beast that can destroy anything in his path, and who's on that level? A man with a gun, the Punisher.
I really thought you were gonna say you put this abominable like beast of a man on one side and then the Incredible Hulk on the other.
All right, so that's Robin. My 4. Rob's number 3. Matt, what you got?
It's your number 7, Batman.
Batman. Because I'm Batman. Man, I had him at number 7 because as much I don't know why he got pushed out so far out, but I mean it's Batman, bro.
Dude, he's the world's greatest detective.
He is.
Like, I love Batman. I love his origin story. I love everything about Batman, and I love that. It's not just him himself. Like, I love the supporting characters around him. You have Robin, you have Batgirl, and Alfred. Mm-hmm. Alfred is the greatest, like,
dad.
Yes, he is. Because he grounds him.
Yeah.
So many times, he's just like, okay, maybe you don't need to do this. Maybe you need to chill out for a second.
Yeah.
Maybe, hey, how about you do this instead? Like, I love everything about Batman and everything that he... the thing about him that's the most interesting is that he alone can take out anybody.
Yeah.
You saw what he did in, was it Justice League Doom? Was
Yeah.
that what it was? Yeah.
The one that he has contingency plans for everyone in Justice League.
You saw what could happen whenever he's able to do that.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about Batman.
See, in me, my love for Batman goes back well before he became the Batman we know now.
Adam West.
Batman. Goes back to bam, boom, kapow.
Yeah.
Adam West as Batman. I grew up watching that show nonstop. I even have
Cesar Romero as the Joker.
Yes, such a good. And then Mickey from Rocky as the Penguin. Gershon Burgess Meredith. That's it. Gersher. Something like that as Riddler. Frank something with a G. Gershon. Something with a G.
Like that,
yeah. As the Riddler. Such a great show. And I would love when I would turn it on. And again, this goes back to the animated series. I love when there was a Colossus episode. I love when there was a Nightcrawler. Whenever you would turn on Batman the animated series and then going through all the opening, and then all of a sudden it cuts to that one scene that has Batgirl on her bike. And you're like, Batgirl's in this episode! Yes! Those were special episodes! So the supporting cast makes him so strong. I love the new incarnation of Alfred, where he's not just a butler. He's kind of a badass, too.
Yes, I love that.
And it's so great.
And what also, the great thing about Batman was that he fostered a whole load of amazing and incredibly interesting villains. Mm-hmm. You had the Joker. You had Poison Ivy. You had Bane. You had the Riddler. Two-Face. Like, so many interesting bad guys that got developed just because they needed to take on Batman. Mm-hmm. So it's not just because, yes, it's Batman, it's Batman. It's because Batman symbolizes so many other things, and Batman created so many other things.
I wanted so bad I wanted in BVS when Clark starts going at and spoiler alert if you haven't seen that crap show.
No spoiler alert. You've already seen it.
He starts going at Doomsday with the spear. I wanted Batman to take the damn spear from him and kill Doomsday himself, and then just look at the camera and go, because I'm Batman.
I would have loved that.
Rob,
I love that.
You love Batman. Why?
Batman's a bit overrated.
I don't think he is.
The greatest detective is actually Tim Drake. However,
well, that's later.
Batman, Superman, Apocalypse, we've got Superman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman. On Darkseid's planet, Apocalypse, they're all fighting. And Batman's there also. Mm-hmm. And they're all fighting. And anyone I'm looking at the show like, okay, they're taking on hordes of freaking Doomsdays and this and what's Batman going to do? Guess who stops the whole freaking invasion?
It was Batman.
Batman. And even Darkseid was like, what are you going to do? And Batman says, I'm going to blow this planet up.
Yeah,
he says, but you'll die. I don't care.
He's standing in front of a module. And he's just like, yeah, I'll just blow this whole thing up.
He said, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to destroy this whole planet. Everything will be gone. And Darkseid's looking at him like,
we got to go.
Okay. All right. We're done.
And you know why? You know why? Because he's Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
I love those Howard shit.
He does some really amazing things. And like you said before, as far as with Doom, where you had a contingency plan for everyone, that's the reason why there is a Justice League.
Yes.
Batman wanted to get all these powerful people together so he could figure out a way to stop each and every single one of them.
Yep.
That's the only reason why we have a Justice League America.
And it's so... And I love... I love Ben Affleck as Batman. I do. I think he is incredible. I think he is second best next to Michael Keaton. And that's hard for me to say because I love Ben Affleck so much as Batman.
Can we just, for quick second, let's rank the top 3 Batmans?
Well, I mean, that's pretty simple. Ben Affleck, Michael Keaton, Christian Bale.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure we were all in agreement there. That's...
there's no hesitation.
Keaton, Affleck, and
Bale?
No.
Adam
Bale.
West?
No, the one that played the Saint. The second one.
Oh, why can't I not remember his name right now? He got fat. I can't remember his name.
Kilmer?
Val Kilmer.
Yes.
I hate him worse than I hate George Clooney. I thought George Clooney did a
George Clooney was the worst.
I think Val Kilmer was. I hated Val Kilmer with a passion.
The only reason I did not like Christian Bale is because he didn't play Batman. He played Christopher Nolan's Batman. His only thing was I don't want to be Batman anymore. I don't want to be Batman. They hammered that into your head the entire movie series. I don't want to be Batman.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm like, no, Batman doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne.
I hated, and it all goes down to one freaking scene that made me. It was the straw that broke the camel's back, I guess. But when he goes to Chase Meridian's house as Batman, and then she says that she's in love with Bruce Wayne, basically. And he turns to leave, and and you just look at in Batman's face, and he smiles, and I'm just like, Batman doesn't smile.
I think for me, my top 3 would have to be Michael Keaton, number 1. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is Kevin Conroy.
That's another one I was going to say.
Kevin Conroy is Batman.
The animated series.
That is the voice of Batman.
Yeah.
And then number 3, it can jump in between Ben Affleck and Christian Bale. At the moment, it's Christian Bale, but at any point in time, Ben Affleck could just trump it, and we don't know.
And I love that joke in the Justice League trailer where the Flash is like, "What's your superpower?" I'm rich.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Why not? So where are we at now?
We are on my number 3 because that was your number 3.
Yeah, that was my number 3.
My number 3 is our punt from Matt's number 7, the God of Thunder. Thor from The Incredible Hulk Returns.
It's not what it's called.
He was on that animated, or he was on that made-for-TV movie too.
Oh, okay.
That was the one before the one with Daredevil.
That's right, he was.
Oh, the Hulk versus. Yeah.
I forgot about that, but the Hulk versus was awesome.
Hulk versus was good too.
No, it wasn't.
Dude, Hulk versus Deadpool?
The one that had Deadpool.
That was
amazing.
The one that had
Deadpool was good.
It was amazing. I liked Hulk versus Thor.
I liked it because I didn't know anything about Beta Ray Bill until then. And that's when I was like, cool. But Thor, dude.
I just find it funny, though, that all of us keep saying and hinting at the Incredible Hulk, and not one of us have it on our list.
That's not true.
Oh, you do? Okay, sorry. Let's keep going.
So, Thor, dude, the first Thor... Until probably recently, with the new batch of Marvel films that have phases 3 and whatever, Thor was my favorite. Mm-hmm. It was even past the Avengers. Thor was just such a fun movie. Chris Hemsworth plays him so perfect. I always go back to just lines from that movie. I need a horse. This drink, I like it. Another. He's so good in the role, and now we see the trailer for the new one, and I'm just like, and again, that's a power that I'm like. What's Thor's power? He's strong as shit and has a hammer.
And he uses lightning.
Yeah, but he's strong as shit and has a hammer. That's awesome.
Yeah, I absolutely love Thor, and it's not just the movies too. The movies are great. If you ever watch the animated shows that have Thor too, it's so great because he's like, "How about thee?" Like,
yeah, that's why. But see, I have a problem now. Like when I play him on Ultimate Alliance, and I hear him talk, and I'm like, "Well, that's not Chris Hemsworth."
That was out before Chris Hemsworth.
I know exactly.
Well, but the thing about him too, and it kind of goes into a deeper level that I went with Wonder Woman. It's mythology.
Yeah.
It's the Nordic mythology, though, this time. And I've always been so interested in that style, that genre. So the whole Valhalla and the different unique monsters and the things that they're facing, the enemies, that was so cool to me. And that Thor was the guy that was fighting against all of it. And then he was also the guy who was one day going to become the king of Valhalla. Or Asgard, really. I absolutely love everything about Thor. I think he's the coolest. He's so strong, and he's witty at times whenever he's not supposed to be witty, and you don't expect it. So, yeah, Thor is great to me.
Yeah. Rob?
Not a big Thor fan.
Well, there's another one. Have you ever read Avengers Disassembled with Thor?
No.
That one, it shows the end of Thor, and wow, it's powerful stuff.
And theoretically, we could say, hey, I do have a chick on my list because Thor's a chick now.
That's true. Yeah, but you kept talking about Chris Hemsworth, so...
It's Chris Hemsworth, though. He's so pretty. And it is definitely that first Thor movie that made me like Thor. I remember him as the Viking god and The Incredible Hulk Returns, but it was freaking terrible.
It was terrible.
Chris Hemsworth made me enjoy that character. And that's why, and I cannot wait for Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok's going to be great.
Yes! He's a friend from work!
Thor, like I said before with Doctor Strange, Thor was one of the comics that I didn't really like. I couldn't really get into it. And even with the movies, I'm still like, I'm watching them because it's part of the MCU. I honestly don't give a rat's ass about Thor. However, with this new trailer that we saw, I'm like, okay, I might really like this Thor movie. The first two are
The second one does, I will admit, the second one has its problems.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yes, the second one was a problem.
That's probably the worst villain that Marvel has done to date.
Yeah, and it's kind of terrible because you had some guy that we actually all like from Doctor Who, or you haven't watched Doctor Who, but Christopher Eccleston, who he's so good.
I loved him in another movie that no one else likes but me. But G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. He played Destro.
Is that the first or the second one?
First.
I like the first one.
I have it.
Okay.
I like the first one. It's the second one that was terrible.
So much.
I always get so messed up on the second one.
I loved that first one. I thought it was so good.
No, I thought the second one was terrible.
Yeah.
The second one was just like, why did we even do this?
And because we had The Rock.
It was The Rock, and because they were like, oh, wait a second, we didn't realize Channing Tatum was going to be, like, beloved.
Yeah, and they had a cool ninja scene. But
yeah, that's it. And Bruce Willis was barely even in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was definitely a waste of a villain in the Dark World.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as far as Thor goes for me right now, if it wasn't for Loki, I really wouldn't give a rat's ass about these movies.
Oh, God, and I love Loki.
But now it seems that they're doing a whole lot more with 3, so I'm like, okay, we've got Hela, Kate Blanchett. Whoo! Shit!
She got the hammer!
But see, that's the thing. That's what we haven't really got to see from these Thor movies. At least the first one, we got to see the ice giants, and the second one, you didn't get to see all the other like real enemies and the amazingness that was the Thor universe. Hela is such a dominant villain that we're finally getting to see her. I'm so disappointed that we never got Enchantress, by the way. I loved Enchantress. Enchantress and Loki would have been incredible.
We got a version. We got her on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's not,
and it wasn't as good. It was the episode that Sif was on.
Yeah, but that's not my Enchantress. Hashtag not my Enchantress. They're really missing out on putting Enchantress in those movies, and especially with Loki or Tom Hiddleston leaving after this movie, allegedly, they're not going to be able to have that, and that's disappointing to me.
I love when people are like, oh yeah, like just like that with Loki or with Spider-Man. Oh well, he's not in the MCU after this film, or Loki's leaving. the actual quotes are them just going, well, I'm not signed on for anything more yet. I'm totally down to.
Yeah.
Please sign me
Oh, okay.
on.
All right.
but yeah, I completely agree. And if I'm misunderstanding you right, your favorite version of Enchantress is not the Ages of S.H.I.E.L.D. one, but the Academy Award winning Suicide Squad version of the Enchantress.
You are completely
that is completely
Okay,
right.
let's move on. Let's move on.
Actually, Suicide Squad is my number 2. It's not.
Hey, Jackass Nation, we're going to get right back to the action, but first, we got to pause for just a minute and give thanks to some of my sponsors that help us make this show incredible. So, give me 1 second, we're going to talk to the sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hey guys, Jason the X for SCNS Live. Make sure you check us out on youtube.com/SCNS Live. Every Thursday night, we got a live show for you guys. Please like the channel and subscribe to it for all your news, reviews, editorials, and more. We are powered by Cinelinks.com. And as always, keep on nerding.
All right, number 2, Rob. Who do you got?
Number 2, I've got the man, Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Fine. I'm kidding. That was my number 9. So Wolverine.
Okay.
That was your 9. That's right.
Yeah, that was my 9.
I think I mentioned this to you guys yesterday when we were talking about this, but X-Men was my all-time favorite comic book back in the 80s. I bought pretty much every single book with an X on it.
Yeah.
And Wolverine was the top. He was the man. He was everything. Anything that had Wolverine in it, I was buying it. Years later, I stopped reading, joined the military, and then they came in with this movie. I'm like, oh yeah, Wolverine, yeah, Stinky Snake, bitch. Saw the movie, loved it. But then everyone else loved it. And everyone's talking about Wolverine. Then there's the TV, it's Wolverine and the X-Men. And Wolverine isn't...
I don't hate on Wolverine and the X-Men. I love Wolverine and the X-Men.
But for someone who liked Wolverine so much, and like, there were the comic book fans that loved him, but not the general public. And everyone's just like, it's just Wolverine overload. And I was like, oh, man, fuck Wolverine. No. Which is why he's not in my number 1 spot.
Yeah.
But he is up there.
He is high.
Well, and I think Hugh Jackman has really brought that character into, pop culture now. Like, it even goes back to when he hosted, was it the Grammys or the Oscars that he hosted?
Yeah, Oscars. And he even, in his opening monologue where he's singing, he ends it with, I'm the Wolverine, and thunderous applause. Yeah.
And it's just, what he did with that character was something that no one else could have done. And I am so, I get to see Logan now, one of the best comic book movies ever made.
I loved Wolverine, and he's such an iconic character for Marvel. You've got Iron Man, you've got Captain America, but really the end-all be-all was Wolverine. He was a part of everything. He fought with Captain America.
Yeah.
He was a part of the X-Men. He was after all of them. So I think he's such a pivotal character, and what he was able to do with the X-Men, and you have this like brute, you have this guy who's a wild man that is able to...
He's a savage.
He's a savage,
Yeah.
but he's able to calm down, and you're able to learn more about him through the X-Men. And you even get through one of the best arcs I've ever read, I've ever seen, was the Weapon X program.
Yeah.
So you get all that, and I can't gush enough about Wolverine, and he has a daughter, a clone of himself, in X-23 that is incredible, and I fell in love with X-23 through Wolverine as well.
I still hate the Foot Claw.
I love the Foot Claw. No, dude, the Foot Claw is awesome. Don't hate on the Foot Claw.
I don't know why it bothers me. It just bothers me.
But yeah, Wolverine's fantastic.
I love claw's bigger than her actual foot.
Yes.
But the most interesting about him, though, is that nobody knew what his real power was until much later. Everybody thought that his real power were the claws, but that wasn't quite true.
Yeah.
His real power was the fact that he could self-heal.
Yeah.
And when you learn that, you're like, wow, that's even better. Like, this guy's gotten even cooler. And I love everything. I love that. And like, if I wasn't to have Nightcrawler's power, I would want the self-healing power. I think that's the coolest thing. I love in X-Men, the animated series, whenever I believe they're fighting Apocalypse. And at one point he unleashes this virus that kills everybody, but they go back and they're able to redo it, and instead it's just Wolverine that takes in the virus, and they're like, oh no, he'll be fine. His antibodies will take care of that, and then just completely eliminated the virus.
And then I love how like you look at like the Deadpool movie now, and they're kind of like, well, yeah, Deadpool's in the X-Men universe, but it's not really going to cross over with the other X-Men, and everyone's like, well, what about Wolverine? Can Wolverine be in it?
Yeah.
And then you got the MCU, and they're like, yeah, well, you'll never get the X-Men to Marvel. What about Wolverine? Can we get Wolverine? Like, that's all we really care about.
See, like I wanted so bad in Captain America: The First Avenger. I really wanted just some hint that there was Wolverine, because Wolverine fought with Captain America. So I wanted there to be at one point for like some guy to just, you don't see him very often. Maybe you see him in one scene, but he has just these long sideburns, and he just goes over. He's like, "What's up, bub?" And that's it. Like, I would have loved that.
Hugh Jackman was going to be in The Amazing Spider-Man, or maybe it was he was going to be in either one of the Spider-Man movies or one of the Marvel films. Just in the background, he was just going to walk by and looking like Wolverine, look toward whatever the thing happening is, and keep going. It was just going to be a cameo, but then they couldn't get final things right and all that stuff. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was an interesting story when it was first coming out, but then the timing and things like that didn't work out for it. But yeah, Wolverine is a great character to have in there. It definitely deserves. I didn't put him on the list. I don't know, he just didn't happen to get in there. But I love what Hugh Jackman has done with Wolverine and the character itself.
You did see the progression over the years they did after Logan from X-Men up until Logan, and they just did like the pictures just morphing over. It's like he started out, he was just kind of like a soft, doughy body. By the third movie, he was freaking jacked.
He was Jack Man.
And stayed that way.
To get in shape for the Wolverine, he had The Rock put together his workout and meal plan.
Oh, okay.
So he's I'm never eating chicken again. All right, Matt, number 2. What do you got?
The face of DC, Superman.
See, I hate Superman.
I love Superman.
I love Christopher Reeves as Superman.
He was a great
Superman. Other than Christopher Reeves as Superman, I just don't... The character is... the fact that he's just flawless. It's like, okay, I mean, yeah, there's The Rock that beats him, but... the Kryptonite. The Rock.
Okay.
Not.
You say The Rock a lot, and you refer to Dwayne Johnson. So suddenly now you're saying there's The Rock that can beat him, and I'm like, I bet Dwayne Johnson. When does Black Adam fight Superman? This is weird.
But anyway, Matt, why is it that you got the Superman so high up?
Look, I get that he's this flawless, statuesque, this granite guy that you're never going to get much out of. But that was the old Superman. That was whenever he was just from Action Comics. Mm-hmm. Later on, whenever they developed him and they really gave him a backstory and you understood what he stood for and how he grew up and then developed his powers and got everything, it was amazing to watch. And growing up, Superman was my idol.
I will
loved
completely
him.
Agree there. I loved him as a kid.
I could not get enough of him. Watching the animated shows, watching Christopher Reeve, watching Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Lois and Clark, man. You watch it now and you're just like, how the hell did I sit through this? He was the end-all, be-all for me. And he fought some of the most interesting villains, too. You had Darkseid, who probably was one of the only ones that could really stand up to him and kill him. You had Brainiac, which was a really interesting one because he always affected everybody else around him and got to Superman. I remember there was an episode whenever it was Batman Beyond when Superman showed up. And I was like, yeah, we're getting old Superman. This is cool. And he's evil because he's being controlled by that star thing. I can't remember what it's called now. And even evil Superman is interesting because you're now like, okay, wait a second. Now we've got another layer, another depth to this character that he could kill all of us. So I love Superman just because of how unique he is and how, yes, he is just that mega force that is invulnerable to everything except for kryptonite, but he can be affected. He can be affected by so many other things, and
by magic also.
By magic too, yeah.
Where, sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
There was, I don't know if it was a cartoon or the comic book, but Shazam and probably Black Adam could whoop his ass. And Shazam did it by Superman had him, and he just said, Shazam! Shazam!
Yep.
Which is magic. And he just kept saying, Shazam, 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 Shazam. And the lightning fucked up Superman.
Yeah. So, everybody who says that Superman's invulnerable, DC's done a great job with finding ways to weaken him.
To make him human.
It's one thing. DC has got a lot wrong in their cinematic universe they put together. But what they've done with the character of Superman, everyone says that he's too dark and they don't like him. I like it because I see the conflict in him.
Yes.
And that's something that I think should be explored more often.
Because to all of us, he is a god. Yeah. And he does not know what to do with that.
And he just wants to be one of us.
Yes.
And it's age-old tale of the difference between Marvel and DC. DC is gods wanting to be human.
Yeah.
And Marvel is humans wanting to be gods. And it's so interesting to see the dynamics there. So I will give you that one. It's just, to me, I'm like, the execution is really difficult because how do you tell a story around this invulnerable person on film? And it just doesn't. And me being a film guy, it's hard to get it right.
But that's why you enter Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And now you have a supporting cast in Lois Lane and all the other ones, Jimmy Olsen, everybody like that. Because Lois Lane is, we talk about Wonder Woman being a strong woman. Lois Lane is a badass without powers.
Yeah.
She is fantastic. So it's, and I think that's a big thing with me too, is that my top 10 list is how are others affected by you?
Yeah.
How do others grow from you? And Superman grows and is grounded by Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And that's where you see that human factor too.
And I will say this, continually, no doubt in my mind, there are scenes in certain films that no matter how many times I watch them, I get chills seeing it. And one of those scenes I will always say is it's in Superman Returns. When that plane is falling and he sets it down inside the baseball stadium and he goes in there and makes sure everyone's fine. And as he's leaving, that iconic John Williams score starts up. And he's just standing in the door and you're seeing everyone. I'm getting chills just thinking about it right now. It's just, that's always will give me chills because of that theme and that iconic costume. So I will give it that. It's just, I'm never connected to the character.
I cried when Superman died in the comics. That was so sad. I was devastated by that.
I loved when they brought him back in that new suit and everyone else hated it. I was like, I don't care. I think it's cool.
Back. I was like, he's back. I don't care.
I thought the suit was awesome. And I go back to the SCNS game, The Death and the Return of Superman. My favorite character on there, the Eradicator. I don't know what he was. I still to this day don't know what he was. But he was another version of Superman. And I'm just like, he's cool because he has yellow sunglasses.
By the way, it's the SNES, not the SCNS game.
Did I say SCNS?
Yes. Just want to make sure that that's clear.
All right.
It's the SNES.
So that's your number 2, Superman.
Yeah.
My number 2 is one you were talking about. And whereas as a kid, my number 1, as a kid, I always wanted to be that hero because I connected to him so much.
Sure.
But as I got older, I connected to this character so much more and more. Because I hate people.
Jubilee.
And I'm Jubilee. and I love fireworks. And I love shooting them out of my fingertips. And she was the Vision into the X-Men the animated series.
She was.
But the angrier...
I like Doug Ramsey. Who? Yes.
But the angrier I get, the more I connect to this character. And that's the Incredible Hulk. The man who could, and Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow says it in there, the man that could end the fight, but he's afraid to do so because of what it will do to him and other people. Because he cannot control the rage that is inside of him once it grows. And the more it grows, the angrier he gets, the more powerful he gets. And if I could have any superhero power, it would be that. That the angrier I got, the stronger and more powerful and more destructive I can become. And it was just such a character that just drives me. And I'm so entertained by the thought of the duality between Bruce Banner and the Incredible Hulk.
They've done a lot with that character too.
Oh yeah,
over the years, yeah. I mean, I remember getting one of this little digest magazine that had stories about the Incredible Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, I think Thor and Doctor Strange were in there also. But it was like their origin comics. The first like 15 comics that they ever had for each one of these people, and reading the Hulk then and everything they've done with him ever since then is just okay. Yeah, the Hulk is really, he is incredible. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking about a guy. I mean, there was things as far as him becoming intelligent. Then he's super strong when he could only change at night. Then it was he can change anytime he wanted. He changed when he was mad. Everything with Thunderbolt Ross and Betty and all. I mean, long history.
Yeah,
great character.
Yeah.
So.
And that's one thing that I think that Marvel really hasn't done a great job with was Betty. Like, they have not introduced her at all, like, except for the Edward Norton and the Eric Bana movie. But they haven't done much, and that's really disappointing because I liked Betty. I liked Betty and Bruce. And so I think that was my biggest issue with Avengers 2, because suddenly now he's got a relationship with Black Widow out of nowhere, mind you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, whatever happened to Betty? Like, that was my main concern. I was like, whatever happened to Betty? What's going on with that? And then, of course, the General comes in, and you're like, oh, well, okay, well, now he's in here, but we still don't know what the hell happened to Betty.
Well, I mean, it goes to the fact that he can't have that normal life, because he can't even sleep with Betty because he will Hulk out.
Well, that was cool. That was a cool moment. I love that.
Yeah. And
Liv
so
Tyler's like, oh, it's okay.
and I'm one of the very few people that really liked the relationship between Black Widow and him because of how her past and the things that she's stuck with.
Felt forced.
It worked for me, and it goes back to the Avengers when they send her to go get him, and she's so afraid of him, but she's still able to talk to him, and she's still there to be with him. And when she's down in the Quinjet, not the Quinjet, the helicarrier, and she's like, everyone get away, let me handle the Hulk. Mm-hmm. Because she thinks that she can get to him. And it goes to the fact that the lullabies and everything that she does. And it's truly a moment that I always reflect on when he saves her and then goes after, jumps back after, what's his name, freaking Ultron, and flies off in that Quinjet by himself. And he sees her talking. She's telling him, hey, just come back. We need you to come back here. And he just shuts it down because he knows. Even then, that's when you start to see a little bit more of the Hulk understanding things rather than just Banner going, I am a force that cannot be contained. I need to be gone.
I think what bothered me the most about Hulk, and I love Hulk, don't get me wrong. I hated whenever later on they used Bruce Banner less and less.
I agree. I do not like intelligent Hulk.
Yeah.
I like mindless, angry brute.
Sure. I loved what Avengers did with Bruce Banner. Whenever they were like, I've learned to control it because I'm always angry. I thought that was a cool moment because you've never seen...
Yeah.
Well, in the comics, we've seen it. But like before then, you hadn't seen Bruce Banner be able to ever control it. And at that point, you're like, whoa, hold up, game changer.
But you also get the point that, yeah, he can control it, but he also can't.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's just going to Hulk out.
I love Hulk, though. I completely agree with you. Hulk is a badass, and I love that... I think correct me if I'm wrong, but later incarnations he's able to like absorb energy, right?
Mm-hmm. He could do that.
But I mean, he might.
He could do that in the Eric Bana version. They let him. That's one of the.
I thought there was another one later on that he was able to absorb.
And there was. He's had like with the Eric Bana one. Mm-hmm. The angrier he gets, the bigger he gets. That's something we hadn't seen on any aspiration of the Hulk in a while since the comic, and all that. And again, I don't like when they separated Bruce Banner and the Hulk.
Yeah.
That's not... My Hulk is the Hulk that can... He has to be controlled. He has to have Banner because it's the duality of the character that I relate to.
That's what I'm afraid that they're going to do in Thor Ragnarok, which is why you see Hulk already hulked out in the Gladiator, is that they've found a way to like separate him and Banner.
I hope.
And because there's a still where you see Banner and Thor talking.
I just
so
hope
that's why I was thinking, okay,
maybe
there's a point where Banner isn't Hulk anymore, and part of the entire fight or the entire movie is to try to get them to unite again.
I hope not. I really do. I agree with you. I hope that's not the case. Mm-hmm. That will really disappoint me. But again, and like you said, you put this list together of people that you know how they interact with other people.
Yeah.
Me, it's how I reflect on how it affects me.
Yeah.
And that duality of Bruce Banner wanting to be, a normal person, but knowing that he doesn't get that happiness. It's something that I've felt before. And not because I can Hulk out to a giant rage monster, which would be a lot better than, just being a lonely loser. But, same thing. So I like keeping all my podcasts free for each and every one of you out there in the Jackass Nation listening to the Jackass Nation podcast channel. So to do that, we got to pay the bills, and to pay the bills, we got to give love to the sponsors. So we'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Dr. Jordan Hart, and I am the owner and sole doctor at Athletic Edge Chiropractic. And at Athletic Edge, we offer a variety of services to help you basically be the best that you can be. So we are a chiropractic office. We offer full chiropractic services, including extremity work, as well as a variety of soft tissue techniques and deep tissue laser therapy. So if you're in need of some body work, give me a call, 214-883-9550. My email is drhartdfw@gmail.com.
Now we're at number one.
Number one, this is the big one, and I'm going to bet that me and Rob have the same number one.
Well, since you can see my list, my number one is the man. I'm drinking from his mug right now.
That's why I was going with that being your number one.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Spidey. Why is he your favorite?
Now, you know what I said before about Wolverine, him being my number one so long ago. After everything happened with him, I was like, all right, I need to like someone else. And I read Spider-Man comic books for years, pretty much as long as I read X-Men. But Spider-Man is like, he was a hero that I honestly did not give a crap about. Mm-hmm. I bought almost all the comics. Didn't really care. I was like, he's cool, all right. Then they would come out with the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I kind of got back into my Spider-Man. I got the comics from number 1 up to like 800 or whatever the hell it was back then, somewhere in the 80s, and I read all these things. Spider-Man is awesome.
He is.
Spider-Man is just greatness, and there are a lot of things that I didn't know, like in the one with Doc Ock where he loses his powers, and it's because of a mental block. In the first year of Spider-Man comics, that's exactly what happens. He's fighting Doc Ock, and his powers go because of his guilt because of Uncle Ben. So I'm like, I didn't even notice right now. I was like, okay, yeah, they kept this pretty close to exactly what this was. So, I mean, he's awesome. The guy, he was bonding with the Captain Universe powers, and Spider-Man became even more great. And even as a normal Spider-Man, he fought and beat Herald of Galactus. He's teamed up with almost everybody in the Marvel Universe. He has fought almost everybody in the Marvel Universe. I mean, what more can you expect from a guy who is just a tortured soul? And he is.
Yeah, he is. Definitely is.
See, my main love, one started with the animated series, which is probably next to X-Men and Batman. I think Spider-Man was always my favorite one. But his Rogues Gallery, he's the only one whose Rogues Gallery rivals Batman's. Because the villains that come with Spider-Man are almost as cool as him. And then you have all the different versions, like the Scarlet Spider, the Black Suit Spider, and different stuff like that. And as a kid, I always connected to him because, Peter Parker was a kid. Mm-hmm. He was just, trying to do his homework and find a date to prom. But he also had to save the world. So he's having to deal with the same kind of problems that me as a child was dealing with. But he also, on top of that, had to go stop the Hobgoblin. Good Lord, man. Maybe my problem's not so much, because I may not have a date to homecoming, but damn it, I don't have the Hobgoblin trying to kill me.
But we have a building to have the homecoming in, because I had to fight that fucking
So that's what always connected me to him. And again, it also goes back to his Rogue Gallery of Venom. Mm-hmm. I love Venom.
Venom's great.
Venom is arguably one of my all-time favorite characters. I'm eventually going to do a list of favorite characters, and I'm going to rank them, and Venom's going to be in the top 3. I can guarantee that.
I can't wait for the day that they do Carnage. I want them to do Carnage. Because Carnage, you talk about Venom being awesome. Carnage was savage.
Yeah, Carnage was a flat-out serial killer.
And I love it because you hadn't had that before. I mean, you had some gimmicky villains. You had Scorpion, you had Rhino, all those other ones that are based off of animals, which is always the weirdest thing for Spider-Man. But then you suddenly had Carnage. And now you're like, oh, we're getting real now. Okay.
You had a villain so bad, even Venom was like, oh, we gotta stop this.
Yeah, Carnage and Venom were partners at a time, and then Carnage was too much, and Venom was like, all right, I'm out.
We're out. We're out. We're gonna go help the spider.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like, I'm looking at my list. I'm actually sorry that I didn't put Spider-Man on here. I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man's great. I especially love when Spider-Man got the symbiote. Like, to me, that's whenever Spider-Man got really interesting. Because now it's that duality thing, but it's to another layer. Mm-hmm. Because he's not just a suit. He is now talking to another life being. Yeah. You know, another life form that has its own agenda. Yeah. And wants to, like, utilize its hate. Yeah. So that, to me, was the coolest thing. And then that's whenever it progressed into Venom, and it progressed into Carnage, and it got crazier and crazier. I think, to me, the reason why Spider-Man... I guess why I didn't love him as much as everybody else was A, because everybody loves Spider-Man. Yeah. And it's kind of that same deal with Wolverine for you. But the other thing is because it got too much with Spider-Man. Like, it became a little too crazy.
It does. The Spider-Verse is very...
Yeah, like, whenever you got Spider-Man to the future now, and...
2099.
2099, you've got, like... The shattered mirror, like all the other Spider-Mans that are out there in the universe. When Spider-Man turned into a spider, I'm like, all right, now we're getting into really strange territory.
The one thing I didn't like about Spider-Man, Aunt May.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like old Aunt May.
Yeah, old Aunt May. Yeah.
I love new Aunt May.
Yeah, well, I don't. Right?
Marissa Tomei, how you doing?
You Aunt May could get it.
but like, I love Sally Field's old May. I love her Aunt May. Old May. I love Sally Field's Aunt May. She was great.
That scene between Andrew Garfield and her in Amazing Spider-Man 2, I think it's in, is one of the most powerful scenes.
It's wonderful. But I didn't like Tobey Maguire's Aunt May.
I liked
Peter!
I liked her.
Did you bring the green beans, Peter?
See, that was the old school Aunt May.
I liked her because... she reminded me of the Aunt May from the animated series being pulled right off the screen.
Sure. It was.
So that's why I liked her. And I loved all those movies. And you saying everyone loves Spider-Man. When me growing up, I felt like I was alone in being a Spider-Man fan.
Really?
But until the movie came out. 2001, that all changed. Mm-hmm. And because even in high school, I would sit on the football field. I would perch like Spider-Man does when he's sitting on something. Yeah. And so people would start calling me Spidey. Yeah, and so we even put it on the back of my helmet. It said Spidey on there, and so that's how much like it was ingrained into me in high school and whatnot. But
Spidey's a good one,
yeah,
for sure.
So that's me and Rob's number one. Now it's time for Matt's number one. Matt, what is yours?
We punted on it earlier. It's Deadpool.
Oh yeah, that's right.
See, I'm a Deadpool boy.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, he's all about the Deadpool.
I am.
It was
when I'm writing my list. I was telling them earlier. It took me about 5 minutes to put together this list, which is again why I'm sorry I didn't put Spider-Man on there. But and even Punisher too. I love Punisher. But number one, I was like automatically Deadpool. Like it didn't even matter. Yeah. Like that's it. I love Deadpool. He's just different.
Yeah.
You look at everybody else, and Spider-Man breaks the fourth wall as well. But nobody does it to the level of Deadpool.
Yeah.
He will literally talk to you in a comic, in a movie, in a TV show, everything. And he'll do it like you're the voices in his head.
Yeah.
The video game, Deadpool the video game, is one of my all-time favorite games.
That is a good game.
It's so good.
Never played it.
You need to.
It's
the movie.
I bought it. It's in the box.
Yeah.
It's not opened. Never played it.
Probably could sell it later for really a lot of money. The movie. One of the best movies I've ever seen. It's like when you were talking about whenever you saw like Batgirl. Mm-hmm. And you were like, oh my god, Batgirl. Anytime that you have Deadpool as a guest spot on some sort of cartoon or animated show like Spider-Man, I'm in. I'm marking out too. I'm like, yes, Deadpool's here. Deadpool and Cable, their comic book, is one of my favorite comic books I've ever read. Because it shows how Deadpool gets his teleportation powers. And it's a little bit more interesting than you would have thought. he doesn't get it from the whole Wolverine movie X-Men Origins shit. That was terrible. Is he gets it because he has to do a two-way body switch with Cable. And you also find out that Cable is a part of Deadpool. Because at one point, Cable's about to die, and Deadpool actually gives him a piece of himself in order to heal him. So there becomes like a mutualistic relationship between them. And it's so cool. I love Deadpool. I love when Ryan Reynolds was able to do Deadpool right. Because everybody's like, oh, I'm a Deadpool fan now. I was a Deadpool fan before then.
I'm one of those people who are a Deadpool fan now. That's why he's number 7 on my list. Is because I didn't know much about that. I knew of Deadpool. I knew what his power set was. I knew that he broke the fourth wall and all that. But to me, I mean, Deadpool was cool. I just never really knew much about him because, again, I didn't read the comics. Ryan Reynolds playing him, and I'll go back to Wolverine Origins, not the finale, not the go home, but the shine. Opening up, Ryan Reynolds playing him in the opening scenes was so good.
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it so much that it made me love this character more. And the movie, that's what brought me into the character, is this new era of Deadpool. Everyone loving him now. I am part of that group. But man, is he perfect. And Ryan Reynolds is that character.
One of my favorite, like when I found out about Deadpool, because I'm 27. I've come at a disadvantage to like you and Jason, like guys like Rob and Jason, who were able to read the comics and know everything about them. I came in late. I had to like learn everything off of the internet. But when I first learned about Deadpool, I was like, okay, I got to learn everything about him. So I went into like his entire origin and everything about like who he is. And it's the most interesting thing. Like if you've ever read his story, it's super intriguing. Yeah. The reason why Deadpool doesn't ever have a love interest outside of the movie, obviously, is because his love is death.
Yeah.
He is in love with death because he can never achieve death. So death is always the one that got away from him because he cannot die.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because that's another layer to his madness. And I know he's just this crazy mercenary, but that's the best thing about him, is that he is more than that. And there's a lot of hurt in Deadpool. There's a lot of pain in him, but he masks it all with his jokes and his laughter and killing and everything that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Deadpool. What about you, Rob?
I honestly can't remember the first time that I read anything or saw anything about Deadpool.
I know he was introduced in X-Force.
Yeah, but that was probably years after I had stopped reading them. And I knew about the character. I knew he was part of the Weapon X program and all this stuff. And when I saw Wolverine Origins and they were talking about Deadpool being in it, I was like, okay, let's see what Ryan Reynolds does with this. The opening part,
great,
perfect.
Yeah.
None of my friends who saw that movie, that first part where they saw him is like, Ryan Reynolds needs to make a Deadpool movie.
Yes.
Because what he did in the beginning of that movie, that is Deadpool.
Mm-hmm.
The end part, where they were talking about, as soon as they said Weapon 11, I was like, no, the program isn't by number. It's Weapon X. Yeah. Everybody who goes through this Weapon X.
I know. When they said Weapon 11, I'm like, what the hell is this crap?
Then all the things
why is Emma Frost there?
Then all the things they did with him, and I was like, okay, you know what? Screw this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to that the finish. That wasn't even Ryan Reynolds. That was just a stunt man.
Yeah.
They put in there. Ryan Reynolds only did the opening thing, and he had no idea who Deadpool was until then, because someone just gave him a comic one day and said, "Hey, you should play this character somewhere." He goes, "Who the hell is that?" And started reading it, and he fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
So
he was the perfect guy to play it.
Oh yeah,
like I cannot think of another guy
but
who
he
could
did
have
a
pulled
perfect job of pushing this character and getting the movie made.
Oh, and,
like I said,
and leaking the footage to really get it done.
I mean, like I said, Deadpool, a character I really did not know, but from what very little I've read on the internet, as far as Wikipedia or whatever site, and the movie that was recently done, I'm good.
Yeah.
Deadpool's fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's the talking to the fourth wall. He knows he's a cartoon character or a comic book character. Talks to the audience about this and that and so on. I'm good.
Again, my favorite line in that movie is, "Let's go talk to the professor." Stewart or McAvery?
McAvoy. Yeah.
And again, that's where they got Colossus right.
Yes, they
that
did.
Was so
they did.
dope.
Everything about that movie was just perfect. And I'm so excited for this.
It's really funny.
And Domino, too.
Yeah.
Domino is a great character.
Yeah.
But she wasn't ever utilized as well as she was utilized with Deadpool. So that's going to be cool to see.
I'll still very few people will pick up on it when I say it. Every now and then when I'm cutting a promo or talking trash about Frankie, I'll call him Ajax. And some people will pick up on it because Frankie Francis.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
That makes sense.
So
that's awesome.
Well, those are our top 10 list of superheroes. Let us hear yours. Use the hashtag IiWiIJA and shout out your top 10 list. Maybe I'll read them out on a later episode of It Is What It Is. Rob, where can the people of the Jackass Nation find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Entropy1. That's NTROPI1.
That's right. And Matt, what about yourself?
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Move the Joystick. You can also find me every other Saturday, which will be this Saturday, for Nerd Interference. You can also find me every now and then on Channel Control, Rob's new show, and SCNS Live every Thursday. And on Cinelinks.com, because I write a lot and I do a lot of things. Also, I just last Saturday, I posted my Your Name review, so go check that out. It's a great one. BC also posted his Fate of the Furious movie review, so go check that out, because Cinelinks.com is your place for all your news, reviews, editorials, and more.
That's right. Keep it on Cinelinks, guys. We're going to take one last commercial break, and we will be right back.
Nerd Interference is your bi-weekly source for hot takes and analysis from all the biggest sports and events. Why every other week? It's simple. The coach and the Jersey Jackass BC spew out so much sports talk that they need to recharge. How do they recharge, you ask? By watching sports, playing sports, and eating a lot of chicken wings. Seriously, at least 3 pounds each. So, join your bearded Texas boys every other Saturday live on youtube.com/SCNS Live and follow on Twitter at NI Sportscast.
All right. Welcome back. That was one hell of of another episode. We had a lot of fun. So it's always great to sit down and talk with Rob and Tropy as well as Coach Matt. And man, that was fun getting through our top 10 superheroes. Did you like the top 10 list? Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you would want to hear. Use the hashtag IiWiIJA. Let me know what you think the next top 10 list will be. What I do know, guys, is that next week, right here on It Is What It is going to be our summer movie preview. That's right. We're going to break down all the summer movies, get into them, get excited, get ready for them, and have a lot of fun. We are also going to give away a digital copy of the M. Night Shyamalan film, Split. That's right, guys. We're giving away a digital copy of Split. All you got to do to win it is use the hashtag IiWiIJA and let me know what your favorite, what you're most interested in. What movie are you most looking forward to this summer and why? Let me know. I'm going to pick one out, and whoever does is going to win a digital copy of M. Night Shyamalan's Split. So get ready for that. All right, guys, we're going to get into the box office predictions really quick. Once again, I know we're running a little late, but let's go ahead and look at this. My guess last week, you know what? I actually kind of erased it. Sorry about that, but I was way the F off. None of the thing. I got the first 3 right, and then I had some of the new films getting in there, and they definitely didn't get in there, other than Born in China, which I did not have in there. So the box office went Fate of the Furious, Boss Baby, Beauty and the Beast, Born in China, and Going in Style. I had those first 3. I had Phoenix Lights and the Free Fire on there, and neither one of them made in. I did not think Born in China was going to make it. Neither did I think Going in Style. This is another weird week because we got that random Tom Hanks movie coming out, which could be entertaining. I'm kind of excited. I would like to check it out. I'll probably wait until Redbox to see it, but I definitely will catch it as soon as it hits Redbox. My guesses are going to be pretty simple. It's going to stay with the same top three: Fate of the Furious, Boss Baby, Beauty and the Beast. The Circle will come in at 4th, and I'm going to go ahead and put Born in China there at number 5. What are you thinking? What are you looking at? What are you excited for? Let me know. Use the hashtag IiWiIJA and let me know what your box office predictions are. Guys, tomorrow evening we are dropping a brand new episode of Go Home. That's right. It is Go Home Payback, where we are talking the WWE pay-per-view Payback. It is going down this Sunday, so we're hitting up a little bit of box office or of Go Home for it. So that's going to be really fun. You always know how excited I am for WWE pay-per-views. You know, guys, I love being able to sit here and talk to you guys, whether it's on It Is What It Is, or Jackass Reviews, or Go Home, or even Jackass 1, a Star Wars podcast. I love having conversations with you guys right here on the Podbean channel, on all my different podcasts, on the Jackass Nation. And being able to do that has been quite difficult, but I got to thank a lot of you guys for making it a little bit easier on me. And you know how you do that? You do that by working with Amazon, because Amazon has come to me. They've come to the Jackass Nation, and they said, hey, we want to help you out. We want to make sure to keep everything on your Podbean channel completely free of charge so that the Jackass Nation can check out all your different shows and not have to pay a single dime to hear your opinions on whatever it is you want to talk about. All you got to do is use this link. And so what this link is that you can find in all the description of every podcast I have, as well as on my Twitter, normally pinned to the top of the profile. Sometimes there's something else there, but I always tweet. I like to tweet it out on Tuesdays around the time I wake up, but it has the link that you click on and it takes you to Amazon. Now what this link does is it just takes you to Amazon. It doesn't take you to like my specific Amazon, it doesn't take you anything else. It just takes you to Amazon. Instead of typing in www.amazon.com, all you do is click this link, maybe even go and bookmark. Once you click the link, then hit that bookmark, and then every time you go to Amazon, use that link, and whenever you buy something, Amazon says, hey, this guy bought it from the Jackass Nation link, therefore, he is a listener of the Jackass Nation. So, let's give a little bit of money back to the podcast channel so that they can continue to provide all of the content free of charge. That's right. Amazon throws back to me just because you clicked on a link and bought from there. It doesn't make anything more expensive. It's still the exact same price as it would be. There's no upcharges or surcharges or hidden fees. It's just Amazon, and they're just saying, this guy's the listener of the Jackass Nation, and they like to use Amazon, so let's give back to the Jackass Nation. Let's make sure everyone continues to get all this content absolutely free of charge. So once again, make sure to click that link in the description of this video or on my Twitter. Alright guys, we're going to get up out of here. I appreciate y'all for listening. I appreciate you for hitting the download button. Get excited for next week's summer movie preview. It is going down. I'm excited. I know you're excited too. We're going to breaking down all the summer movies. Until then, you know how to hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, as well as Facebook at RealJackassBC, RealJackassBC. Use the hashtag IiWiIJA to join the conversation. Check out SCNS Live. Tonight it's going down. I will not be there, but superstar Kenny Steele is there. So get excited for that. Speaking of Kenny Steele, Mr. MPX happens this Friday night, as well as MPX Exile on Saturday night. Do not miss out. Live, Coach Matt, Robin Tropey, and myself will be live tweeting the draft tonight. So check out our Twitter feeds. Y'all know how to do that. Like I said, Matt is at Move the Joystick, and Robin Tropey is at Entropy1. That's NTROPI1, the number 1. So check that out there, guys. Y'all hear that go home music? I'm getting out of here. It's time to roll out. And you know what? It is what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to It Is What It Is. with the Jackass. Follow BC on Twitter @RealJackassBC. Subscribe on Podbean.com to Jackass Nation. And subscribe to the Offshoots Network on iTunes. Views and opinions expressed by BC do not necessarily reflect those of the Offshoots or Podbean. We'll see you next time on It Is What It Is.